c4 for the poison pawn to recapture that c pawn with check. Knight c6 and then take it. Now I thought I've done pretty well here. That was pretty much the beginning of my opening anyway at the minute, but the game continued then with development. Bishop e6. Now I thought at this point then I was thinking I wasn't 100% sure where we moved my queen back to. I thought it could come back to here. Well, it can't go to there because it can't go anywhere on this line actually because the bishop's going to take it. I thought about going to here to pin, but I don't really like pinning things with the queen, so I could come back to here, or I could go to here. So I want to maintain my defense of this pawn because it's being hit twice at the minute by the queen and the knight, so I decided to go back a square in order to just really perform that task, which is to defend the d4 pawn. So I go back, bishop g4. Now obviously then, if in this position then, if I recapture back with the queen, then again the d4 pawn's going to fall. I'm trying to prevent that happening because of my original portion of the game was to keep that strong center, so I don't really want to give it up. So the move I decide on, sorry, is knight on b to d2, so that if he takes the f3 knight, I just recapture with the d2 knight. e6, opening up lines for his f8 bishop, his king's bishop, which needs to be defended with a3, to prevent, you've got your queen, your knight and your king lined up there, so try to just defend that. Bishop e7, preparing for the kingside castle, but also bringing the bishop to a good square where it can go to either the king side or the queen side. I decide upon just continuing with my plan to enforce and gain space on the queen side. a6, he plays an almost a Marcosi system, something similar to obviously the Marcosi system for me would be if I'm playing a Marcosi system on the left. It's a summary of a Marcosi system really. It's a Marcosi type play. He must play a6 to try and prevent a little bit of space. Castle, h6 to try and kick the bishop. I thought that this wasn't too good a move now, and especially because it's blitz. This is a 5-minute game. I thought that he potentially could have sacked his bishop to take h3, and I would have opened up my king side. But he decides not to do this because it's maybe not the strongest play. I would probably definitely have taken that just to open up that king side, especially with the bishop and the queen coming down here. But it is difficult to get something going with the knight being so far out of play here for black. I think that knight would be pretty important to get into the game on a king side attack, especially since he's given up his white square bishop. That knight is difficult to get into the game because this square is blocked, you know, and is being defended by this pawn and this knight. So perhaps he made a calculated decision that he didn't think was going to gain much for a sack of a bishop. So bishop h5, pulled it back. Knight b3. I'm trying to protect this pawn with these two pieces, and thereby free up this knight here a little bit to see if I can get this knight here, see if we can get a little bit of movement on this side of the board. I think so he sees that coming and pushes f6. I don't do much with it, just bishop to d2 to try and connect the rooks and see what he's going to do really. F takes e5, knight takes e5, knight takes e5, d takes e5, and I think it's a fairly successful exchange for white. Rook to c8, rook on a to d1, queen to e8, rook to g3. So I'm setting up, and this is a strong attack here. I'm setting up, I'm attacking this side of the board here with boom with queen, which is a pretty solid attack. In fact, that's mate. He doesn't do much about it at the minute. Pretty much even for time at the minute. Black defends them with queen to g6, and I just exchange. And then take my bishop to c3 along that good strong diagonal. Bishop to h5, hitting the rook. Doesn't really bother me too much because I just have rook d4 to elevate my rook. In fact, he's giving me a bit of help there. c5 to hit them both, and I think this is his major mistake in the game actually, which allows me to win, because I have knight to c5 with an outpost, but it can be fairly easily dislodged with bishop c5. But then b takes c5, and that leaves rook c5 with the pin. He's losing one of his rooks here, so we have to do something drastic really here to try and take some of the pieces off the board, which is rook d5, rook takes d5, b takes d5, bishop takes f8. So I'm thinking now, yes, I have this game in the bag. I just need to play successfully because I have a rook for a bishop. I've got a fairly strong passed pawn here, which can just go the whole way up this. If I can just protect, he's going to have to use a lot of his forces to protect that. A 3-2 majority, and he has a, I suppose that his real point in the game was probably to start pushing these, which he doesn't really do because he has to spend an awful lot of his time defending my play here. So I think this is a one end game for white. King takes f8, e6, king to e7, rook e1, g5, rook e3, h6. I just wanted to get, just before I just go back and move there, because his bishop is along this diagonal here, I didn't, if the pawn started moving down, I wanted to be able to stop his pawn moving down while it's not on d1, so, and at the same time get as many of my pieces on black as I can. So rook e3, h6, g3, bishop g6. I need to get my king into the game. My king is my strong piece here because his king is locked, preventing my pawn promoting, and therefore my king is an extra piece. b6 starts to get something moving on that side, but with king e1, king d6, e7, I mean that pawn's very strong now. King d7, king d2 prevents his pawn from promoting in the middle of the board. You see his white bishop is no use here. Bishop f7, f3, really just to stop any sort of play on this side at all. g6, rook e1. Now my opponent's trying to get me into third threefold repetition here at the minute, which I'm not going to fall for, and also we're in a game which is 5 minutes plus 5 seconds, so he's trying to make me make mistakes and gain some time. Bishop f7, so just to make sure not to make the same move 3 times. d3, bishop e8, king d4, and at this point now he's in big trouble because I have his pawn inside my king square. So d6 followed by rook e5, and he resigned. So that was my win against the 1800 player. I didn't have too much time to go through it. I would prefer to posted a better video, but that was as much as I can remember offhand. So hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll be posting again soon. Thanks now.